Hey JuJu Squad, what's good? What's poppin'? What's goody? What's needy? Anyways, today I wanted to say thank you so much for getting my video to 130 views. Now, some of you might be saying, what is she talking about? What video is she talking about? I'm talking about the first ever video that I put on YouTube, which was my financial aid explained video. I was not expecting that video to do well considering that it had been up for so long. But if you want me to be honest, maybe that was just self-doubt. So I want to thank you guys so much. This is my formal thank you so much for watching the video. Now, I did notice that some of you do not, if not all of you, do not follow me. And of course, I'm a little big mad about that because I'm like, if you like what you're seeing, then you should be subscribed. Now, I do want to thank all 28 people who are subscribed to me. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for believing in my vision, because that's what we do when we subscribe. We're saying, I believe in what you're doing. I like what you're doing, and I want to keep it up. But what also tells me that is when you like this video, it does more than what you think it does. So thank you so much for your support. Anyways, for those who do not know who I am, my name is Julaizaalvarez. I am a sophomore mass media arts major at the Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, of course, as a treat for getting my video to 130 views, I have decided that I'm going to create basically a part 2 to the first video. Now, of course, this one's going to be less more talking, basically less more talking and more, let's just say, shorter than what the first one was. I know the last video, yes, it was 30 minutes long. Don't get at me. I was just starting, okay? I was just starting. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to edit. So I was just keeping everything in my head and trying to get out all the information so I wouldn't forget it. But now we're doing a shorter video, a more refined video, new information that I wanted to give you guys out from questions from the first video, but also some new things that I feel like I should have put in there that I didn't. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get with the video. So just to start off, just like the first video, I do have my lucky MacBook with me with some information. Just gonna be looking at it here and there, but not really for the most part. But yeah, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is a reward letter. What is a reward letter? When should you expect your reward letter? All the good things like that. So in my last video, I know and I mentioned that I talked a lot about a reward letter, but some of you actually didn't know what that was. And I guess that kind of confused the conversation, considering that I was kind of going a little bit everywhere when it came to that topic. So first and foremost, a reward letter is a letter that you'll get that usually comes right after you get your admission offer. So you know that big letter that you get that says, congratulations, you made it into so-and-so university? That's what I'm talking about. That is your offer letter. So after your offer letter, you are then mailed, if not in the same mail, if not in the same letter, you are given a reward letter. And that reward letter is how much the institution is offering you in scholarships. That's exactly what that is. So you want to make sure that you keep all of those letters in, that you don't throw them out. I will also say that it's important to keep them because they come with some special information about how to access your reward letters online, on top of what you have physically. So it's very important that you keep track of all of them so that it makes your decision easier for what school you actually want to go to. So the next thing that I was still getting some refined questions about was unsubsidized loans. One of the questions that I was asked about when it comes to unsubsidized loan is there a 6-month grace period or determined period right after you graduate? Yes, there is. When it comes to federal loans, federal school loans, you always get the 6-month determined period. Unless you decide to cancel and not do it at all. But for the most part, 6 months after you graduate, that's a long time. A very fairly good time for you to get yourself situated before you start paying your loans. Now, an unsubsidized loan is a loan that accumulates interest over time while you are in school. Now, it's a little bit different compared to a subsidized loan. A subsidized loan is a loan that does not accumulate interest during your matriculation. Your matriculation through college. So all 4 years, you're not accumulating interest while you're in school. That's one of the reasons why even myself, I decided to go ahead and do the subsidized loan. Now with the subsidized loan, the max is $3,500 that you can be offered. Now every year I'm usually offered the max for what you can get in a subsidized loan. I'm usually offered like maybe $1,000, $2,000 in unsubsidized loans, but I never opt for an unsubsidized loan. On top of the fact that I have a Parent Plus loan. Now, that leads me to what I'm about to talk about, which is the elephant in the room, a Parent Plus loan. Some of you are looking at me and saying, oh, you explained that in your last video. But I don't think I explained it in the way that I should have. So a Parent Plus loan is a loan that has to be approved by your bank for your credit. Not necessarily your credit, because since you would be a minor applying to college, it would be on your parents' credit. Whether it's one of your parents or both of your parents combined, if they are married, what ends up happening is that they can be either denied or accepted for that loan. Now, at first, my mom thought, of course, she wasn't going to get it because she didn't have necessarily the best credit in the world, right? But we ended up getting accepted for the loans that we decided to pick out. On top of the fact that it wasn't just me going to college, I have a twin sister and she was also going to college with me. So it kind of doubled the load on what exactly she could and could not take out for the both of us. Now, when it comes to a parentless loan, because it is taken out from your parents' credit, when you graduate, if those payments are not paid on time, it does affect your parents' credit. Unless while you're in school or after school, you decide to put the loan in your name. That means it will affect your credit instead of their credit. And on top of that, you're already paying how many other loans, right? And so just make sure that you don't rush your decision to whether or not you want to transfer it to you and not your parents. Because of course, the reason why they would probably opt for it is because they want to help you in the first place. So my advice is to let your parents help you, right? Until you feel like you're in the financial space to actually make that decision to transfer the loan into your own credit. Now, I will say that the Parent Plus loan will be one of the biggest amounts of money that your school will offer you. Why? Because you have to take it out in credit, right? So since it's one of the biggest loans that your school will offer you, you might not need all that money. I know my first year, my school was offering me over $20,000 in Parent Plus loans. Sounds like a trap, doesn't it? Because it is. I didn't opt for the Parent Plus loan that my school had offered me, which is included in your reward letter. I didn't opt for that. What I did instead was I weighed all my options with my loans. I said, this is how much I feel comfortable taking out, and then I have all this money. No scholarship is covering it. What am I going to do? So my first year, I took out $14,000 in Parent Plus loans. Now, some of you are saying that is way too much money to take out. Trust me, I was in the same position my first year. I didn't want to take out that much money. But then again, that led me to understanding that college is an investment. And to me, $14,000 compared to $38,000 in tuition, which I pay to go to school, is better to take out $14,000 than to take out $38,000 in loans, correct? So that is what I decided to do. I decided to take out the $14,000 and I do not regret it. I will say just take out what you need. When it comes to the Parent Plus loan, you just want to take out what you need, even if it is the exact number, right? Just take out what you need for school. Don't try to take out another. If school is $20,000, but you don't need all $20,000, don't take out $20,000. It doesn't work in your favor. On top of the fact that what they didn't tell me was that there is a $300 processing fee with the Parent Plus loan. So you want to make sure that with what you owe or what you need, that you go ahead and you add $300 to that so that it's not affected by when they process your loan. That way, you're good to go. Now, I will say, and I don't know if this is for every school, but I know that if you go to Clark Atlanta University, usually if you have a balance under $500, you will be financially enrolled. And you can just pay the money throughout the year, and then even in a payment plan, or you can just go ahead and just chip in money here and there to make the balance go lower. But you do want to keep track of all your outstanding balances that you owe. That way you know how much you're spending, how much is coming in and out, and taking advantage, if you still do, considering that we're in a pandemic, if you still get to do work study. Now, I did describe and I did talk about what work study was in my first video, so I don't want to go in on what work study is, right? But you do want to make sure that if your school does offer you some type of work study, some type of aid during this pandemic, that if you need it to pay off outstanding balances, that you actually let it go to outstanding balances. Now, I will say this, when you get a refund check, a lot of the times the first thing you think about is, I'm about to buy me this, I'm about to buy me this, right? When I had a refund check, I only got $200 back, okay? And I was like, I'm gonna buy me this, I'm gonna buy me this. And I honestly regret me doing that, because I wish that I would have just saved it for a rainy day if I had any money that I owed Clark. Which, if you want me to be honest, we'll get to that story. So, just so that this isn't a long video, I do have some questions that I feel like you guys are gonna ask me that I need to go ahead and answer now. So the first one is, how do I calculate how much I have to cover after financial aid and scholarships? So this is usually how much you yourself have to pay for that scholarships didn't cover, that financial aid didn't cover, that loans that you decided to take out didn't cover. So the way that I did this, right, was I added up the scholarships that I got, if you got any. I added up the financial aid that was offered to me that I accepted, or that was given to me, and I added up the loans that I accepted from my financial aid, right? And then after I added that up and I got the calculated price or total for the entire thing, I subtracted that by how much the tuition was for the school, including the fees, the miscellaneous fees that they talk about, right? And then whatever is left over is what you owe your school. Now, some of you might have an amount or an outstanding amount of money that you got from scholarships, from financial aid, and things like that. If that is the case, then when you subtract that, when you subtract how much the tuition is, you'll be left with what exactly your refund check will look like. Now, for those of you who are like, no, I need it for like how much I need to take out, that can also be a way that you figure out how much you're going to take out if you decide to do a Parent Plus loan. Now, I will say that is what I did. I took out, I waited and I waited and I waited to see what scholarships, what financial aid would pull through. And what I was left with was $14,000 that wasn't covered. So what did I do? I went ahead and I got the Parent Plus loan at $14,000. Now, I will say when it comes to that, deciding to take the Parent Plus loan out is important, because I had to be, and I knew I had to be completely sure about where I was going to school. Now, some of you, that seems like really shaky, all of that. I understand. But I did that because it's not worth it if you go to this, let's say you went to a private school, right? I go to a private HBCU. So it's not worth it that you went ahead and did $14,000 and then afterwards you end up going to a school, transferring to a school that is so much lower in tuition. Because I guess you could say the worry or the guilt just hits you there. Now, if you decide to transfer because it was better for your major, that's something different. But you want to make sure that with every school that you get into, that you make the best decision about what is good for your major. Not necessarily the parties, not necessarily student life. Because yes, that's all important for your 4 years. And that's why it's important to get the best of both worlds in the schools that you apply to. But I'm pretty sure I'll talk about that in a separate video. But this is for all my people who have already gotten accepted into college. So I don't know where it stopped, but the next question is, can I reject some offers on my reward letter and keep some others? Yes, you can. So on your reward letter, especially if it's online, on your reward letter, what you can do is you can go ahead and accept the ones that you want. And then you can deny the ones that you don't. Like for me, when I was offered like $20,000 in a Parent Plus loan, I denied that. I was not going to take that. You can also opt to not give it. So like I was saying before my camera turned off, I'm sorry. Yes, what you can do is you can opt to not even decline nor accept your offer. Okay, that's what you can do. So that if you do need it and if you do want it, you always have the option to accept it. It'll like roll over, let's say. It'll roll over for your entire year. All right, family. Hi. So we are live from my iPhone, I guess. So my camera had died, and then I had a hard time finding the charger, and so here we are. Now, I didn't want to let this video go without saying goodbye to you guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. I didn't want to go ahead and just be like, oh, that's it, because I don't feel like that's a proper ending for JuJu Squad. So I was like, let me go ahead and make this outro for you guys. If you guys love this video or want to see more videos like this, or if there was something that I missed, please go ahead and tell me in the comment section below. And I have no problem creating a part 3 to this amazing college series. If you guys love what you guys saw today and you guys want to see more of it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure for all of you who are not subscribed to my channel and want to be, that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't just watch, be a part of the team if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, you guys, I gotta go. It's late. My stomach hurts. I'm hungry. I'll see you guys on my next one. I love you guys. Bye.